I'm Tasfia, and I'm the co-founder and CEO at Marco Polo. So everyone asked me why Marco Polo? So I love doing this small practice before I start any talk. So this side you guys are gonna say Marco, and this side you're gonna say Polo. Can I hear Marco from this side?
Marco.
A bit louder, guys. Come on. Again.
Marco Polo. Marco Polo.
So that you don't forget the name. So yeah, why Marco Polo? It's because he was known for his great journeys. He achieved a lots of amazing things. He found out like hidden treasures and the pathways that was unknown to the human history. We actually create the pathway for your clients to you as in who are the merchants who are selling the goods. So we help your like in-level customers to find you. And what we have seen so far, they see up to 35% in terms of recovering the revenue by utilizing Marco Polo. So how is that possible? You know, like currently what we have seen with a lot of clients, and this is a global issue with all of the e-commerces globally, is like almost 70% of the people who abandon cart. So my teammate Michael here, he was saying the same thing. He's like, yeah, I saw some blue shirts back, and I was like, nah, these are not for me. But what if Michael was retargeted during the holiday season with that same blue shirt, asking like, hey, Michael, you have got like 20% discount on this specific shirt that you chose like 1 month back? It would be so freaking cool. Instead of sending random text trying to sell Michael a black shirt which is on sale, what if it was curated towards only him, targeting him and understanding his behavior? That way, you can actually recover up to 70% from the abandonment of the cart. So generic recovery is 10%, and individual recovery is 800K%. So almost $500,000 is left on the table for the merchants because they don't do personalization. They don't understand like which client want what kind of products and what is their preferences. So this is kind of the basic analysis that we have done internally. So almost for the impulse buyers, they need urgency in like 5 minutes. And what generic funnel gives them is like discount in 1 hour. By 1 hour, their interest is already gone. What if your AI agent could understand them and give them instant generic discount? Or like, what if the timing was differentiated between the people? For example, me, I might take 2 hours to think and decide on my purchase. For example, Zoe right here, she might have taken like 15 minutes. She is kind of like the impulse buyer. So who is impulse buyer? Who is price shopper? Who is researcher? Who is validator? Or who is premium buyer? These kind of criteria is done by our AI agent on 24/7. When it understands it's an impulse buyer, it can understand its urgency and gives it a WhatsApp text immediately. I know in this region, WhatsApp or like messaging is not that big of a factor, but if you look at like the global audience, the messaging really works. Or for example, the validator, like they actually need some kind of social proof to understand like, okay, this product is actually for me. Then our audience set in our agent that understands like, okay, this category of people, I'm gonna put it in the ad list of my TikTok account. So when they see some of the ads of some of your product, they actually come back. And when they see it, the ad, they automatically gets connected into the funnel. As in, they're gonna get the next email about your product and repurchasing that. Unlike the premium buyers, you know, these kind of people, like 20% or 10% discount, these doesn't work on them. they are more concerned about the quality. Similar to the researcher, that is 28% of the whole buyer persona. So we need to understand like, okay, they are the premium buyers. So if I make a post about, for example, your email body, how it should be. It should have the product quality. It should not be generic, like randomly giving discount. It should have the proper material quality, stitching quality, and stuff like that, so that it resonates with their buyer preferences. So all of these data points we have built in within our different customer persona. So if I create the same funnel for all, for example, like we use some of the email or SMS automation product, like for email automation, like, okay, I'm gonna send randomly all of these people an email after 2 days, and second email after 30 days. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. So what we have seen, like if we set up some random rules around your checkout system, it gives us 12% hit rate compared to the customization, which gives 70% hit rate. Why is that number is so different? The main reason is everyone is very different, their preference is very different, and your AI needs to understand like what kind of personalization it needs to create. So that's why we have created this formula of 3-dimensional formula. Why? What message to send at which time via the right channel. So you cannot reach everyone on every channel because everyone is not ready or like active on every channel. And timing is the most important factor here, and also the messaging you are having inside the body. What we have seen from the research as well, the kind of messages you are gonna like in the morning, those are not the kind of messages you are gonna like after a drink in the evening. Those are like simply different languages you need to speak. And most of the times, these are gut-driven, not data-driven, not preference-driven. So instead of like burdening your clients with lots of like different kind like same text and messaging, what if you could like customize on the whole funnel? So what we have seen, like what right messages or like looks like. So as you have seen, like we first did kind of like a criteria. So for example, price shoppers who looks for pricing, their messaging needs to be price match and free shipping. This kind of thing actually attracts them. But instead, for the validators, they need to see number of reviews or what kind of reviews is in the website. So when a customer comes into your website and when they look at the reviews and stuff like that, we actually understand their customer behavior and put them in a different category of users. Whereas when they look at the materials and this kind of thing, they start scrolling, we put them in the premium buyer categories. So same cart, different messaging. So for example, like 100 of people, the holiday season is coming, they're coming into your website, they're scrolling down and they're leaving. And you are yet sending them the same text of 10% discount this Black Friday. No, don't do that. And when? So as we know, like as I already said, like the timing is the most critical element of the whole journey. When to send and when they are most likely to convert. How do you understand? Like for example, this is also goes into the impulse buyer criteria, or for researcher, the people who research a lot based on like pricing, like different websites and stuff like that, if you reach out to them directly, it's never gonna work. So what you have to do with researcher is you have to do it a long-term thing. Like for researcher, you need to respect their process. Like, okay, they are doing the research. Okay, hey, can you after 2 days when you are sending an email, yeah, are you okay? Are you still interested to buy this or not? But for the impulse buyer, there, if you don't grab their attention within 5 minutes, they might be lost forever. So this is like the core differentiation. And all of these are like all customer research based and data backed. And you know, like what happens when you don't get timing right is like we get tons of text, we get tons of messages in our inbox and in our emails, and it gets buried inside. And right channel. So I have seen one Gen Z marketer, like they have been doing this big campaign and targeting all of the Gen Z people from TikTok's videos and stuff like that. And I asked them, like, where are you targeting them? They say email. So if you are a Gen Z person, you would understand like how frequently they actually use the email. And what we have seen, like Gen Z people, there's 78% open rate for them into WhatsApp compared to any other people. Like we, like mostly like millennials or them. For millennials like me, it's mostly the SMS one. But for Gen Z, it's always the WhatsApp. And also for Gen X, it's like the much younger generation, it's mostly email and voice. Because for the older people, for the Gen X, it actually matters to them when someone talks with them. They can have end-to-end conversation with them, like what are they saying, what are the value proposition, and they need to understand in a very detailed manner. So if you are WhatsApping a Gen X generation person, it's not gonna work. Like he gets, like he has, most probably he has his WhatsApp only curated for family members. He doesn't even think about getting like your promotional text on WhatsApp, and you are likely get blocked. Whereas if you reach out, similarly, if you call a millennial person, like for example me as well, I don't receive my phone calls. It all goes into voicemail, and every unknown number, I know it's a sales call, I'm not gonna receive that. I know, I understand. I understand the pain of like not having contextual conversation with brands, which I wish I had something that had understood my preferences. Like when I check out from e-commerce, I shop a lot. And when I see like, oh no, there is something I liked someday, like 1 month back, but it's gone because it's sold out. What if they reached out to me before it was sold out? So at first it was not right channel, and also not right messaging towards me that grabbed my attention, so that like I could go back and make the purchase. So what we have seen among these 3 dimensions, if you lose like even one dimension wrong, it's a 10 to 15% loss in the conversion rate. So you need to actually get all 3 correct, and that's your way of increasing your sales in your website. So, like I have seen this question a lot today, like what traditional tools see, like the tool that we have built, like MarTech. So they see customer, cart value, and status. It's like they have abandoned a cart. But what we see is a 384-dimensional fingerprint. So when a user comes into your website, they actually leave a fingerprint. When they look at the description, when they click on the color, when they click on the material, we track every single interaction that they have into your website. And we compare the competitors. We also do a background research, like how they are likely to convert. We do the predictive math on that. And we also build what our agent finally does. It builds the optimal conversion flow. It's like predicted response. If it goes over 84% engagement probability, only then we throw out a messaging, not before that. So what happens is like when we build up the strategy, you have like a different team for WhatsApp messaging, different for email, different for push notification, and your CRM tool is being handled by entirely different team, but it's all interconnected. Where is the brain coming? So as a business owner, at the end of the day, you are doing the whole thing. So not anymore. You don't need to do that anymore. So this is a face-to-face comparison between Sarah and Mike. For example, Sarah is a validator profile and Mike is impulse profile. We have already discussed like how different profiles would have interacted. So what we have found from our research is like, for example, Sarah, she is more likely to convert in 2 days. So you really need to be patient with her. So, you know, like what traditional automation tools would have done, they would have suggested you to like send email immediately when they have abandoned their cart. No, you have to understand their customer profile, buyer persona first. And the way our journey would have orchestrated is like email with testimonials. For example, in the case of Sarah, who needs validation on the product, we would have sent them email with 2 emails with testimonials, like, hey, see, this is how our users have used it. This is how they have benefited from the product. This is how it looks on other people with similar tone as yours. Then we would have when we have already created the validation, then there's like high chance of then we integrate the voice call specialist, where she can like get an integrated call and she can ask different kind of questions regarding the product and qualities and whatnot. So this is what would have looked like for Sarah. Now let's come towards Mike. So what our agent detected is like Mike, he does faster browsing, his immediate checkout attempts, and he's also very distracted. Like, you know, like he leaves your website, then after 10 seconds he again comes back. Then, because he are like doing all hundreds of other stuff. For this kind of user persona, we only do like the impromptu message instantly. With no discount is like only 2 left in the stock. So we actually understand like for him, only this kind of messaging is gonna work. And for this kind of persona, we have seen like they convert within 30 minutes of visiting a website. So the technology behind is like we process millions of human signals in real time. Forget artificial intelligence, we have behavioral intelligence, and that's the core essence of humanity. And we create strategy within a minute. Like our AI can like create strategy within a minute, like how and what is the optimal way to convert them into your paid user. And we can orchestrate across multiple channels. I might be available on one channel and another person might be available on another channel. How do you understand the differentiation? And on top of that, it can learn continuously, and when your user's preference changes, your customer's preference changes, it also changes its course and it learns from the mistakes as well. So you have 2 options, like keep sending everyone the same funnel and recover 10%, or deploy AI that creates individual funnels and recover 35%. So choice is up to you, because from now on, it's all gonna be individualization over random text. So the technology exists. So the question is, are you ready to adopt before your competitors? If yes, do please feel free to scan the code and set up a call with me to learn more. And thank you very much for this lovely opportunity, and you have been an amazing listener. Can I have again?
Marco.
Thank you very much. And that's here for you all.